Hello, my full name is Timur Tursunbayev. I'm a first year student of two foreign languages, and today I would like to tell you how I conducted my practicum. First, let's take a look at the content. First, I will talk about observation, and secondly, I will talk about how I taught, what I taught, and so on. And thirdly, we will talk about extracurricular activities. And the last one is the conclusion. First, I would like to tell you about Lyceum itself. I had an internship at the Kazgasa Lyceum. The Lyceum is one of the part of the IOEC. It's an international educational corporation, and it's located in the territory of Kazgasa. At the moment, the school accepts students only from the 5th grade, and it provides education until graduation. Russian is the language of instruction in the school, but English lessons are conducted in English. Since the school is paid for students, lunch for students is free. Now I will tell you about my school classes that I took. I mostly went to Nurgul Muradovna's class. She is my mentor, and she is the class teacher of the 9th grade and teaches grades 8, 9, 10, and 11. I chose 9th and 10th grade for myself, but periodically participated in 8th grade lessons. The 8th and the 9th grade levels are pre-intermediate. We start each lesson with a warm-up, and students actively studied grammar as they will be taking exams at the end of the year. And in the lessons, project-based learning was used to develop critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration, and various forms of communication. To answer the main question and create high quality work, students need to do much than just memorize information. They need to use higher order thinking. The level of English of the 10th grade is intermediate. Each lesson begins with a warm-up, and various methods were also used here, such as project-based learning, communication, language teaching. And I would like to add something that the most students of 10th grade usually travels during the summer, and they were very high qualified maybe students. And the next, on the first day, I was told which classes of the school I would teach, and they gave me a schedule. Since I was an observer, for the first month I was also advised to participate in 8th, 7th, 11th grade lessons, but yes, I must also participate on 9th and 10th grade lessons. I was given a schedule, and I started attending classes and observing how the lessons were going. After that, the acquaintance with the Lyceum students began. As I'm closer to the beginning of my teaching, the English teacher gave me her lesson plan, so that based on her lesson plan, I could make my own. Here is one example of a lesson plan. You can see that first, for example, she showed me how to write a lesson plan, and it was very useful. During the observation period, I watched the English teacher, observed, learned how the teacher conducts lessons, what she does, and I took notes. I also complete reflective teaching observation report. I assessed how the teacher conducts the lessons and gave my assessment. As soon as the teaching phase began, I tried to diversify the lessons, thereby luring students. These are my students, ninth grade students. Various events were held at the school. One of them was the carnival, which we organized on February 25th. Since the school is multicultural, events of other nationalities were also held. The lesson were conducted in unusual way. Some lessons we showed films, or cartoon to students. Then as homework they were asked to write their opinion about the film and what the students could understood after watching the particular picture. That was done in order for students to develop their thinking, also in order for students to actively participate in the lessons. I had to learn their interests and then link the lessons in such way that they became interested and actively participated. Here you can see some examples. We also taught children how to make presentation. Firstly, it was related to the topic, and secondly, this is the skill that will be useful in the future. On March 17th, I decided to hold an open lesson. I invited 3 teachers to participate in my lesson and to give feedback at the end. The topic of the lesson was culture, and we talked about the nomadic tribes. The beginning of the lesson began with warm-up, and so imperceptibly came to the topic of the lesson. And the next, we read about nomadic tribes, answered questions, and in the middle we played a game. Then the class was divided into 2 groups and they were given a task. I was asked to conduct, and after that I was asked to conduct an extracurricular event. And since the main direction of the Lyceum is creativity, I decided to call a person who paints clothes, phone cases, and etc. I asked to inform the students through their supervisors, and on April 14th we held a master class on drawing, and surprisingly there were many willing students drew on clothes, on a phone case, and here I photographed the result of their work. And finally, the last extracurricular activity was spent during the class hour, and as we all know, April 15th is a Kazakh Lovers Day, and accordingly the theme of the class hour was Qozu Kurpesh and Bayan Sulu. That's it. Thank you for your attention.